From the Blue Ridge Mountains, through the Midlands, and down to the coast, there's plenty of sports highlights and moments here in South Carolina. And there's only one place where you'll catch all the action. This is Palmetto State Sports.
Welcome to Palmetto State Sports. I'm Braden Maloy.
And I'm Nick Klos.
South Carolina women's basketball defeated Alabama yesterday, 87-63, to set a new program record with their 25th straight regular season SEC victory. The Crimson Tide showed no fear against the fourth-ranked Gamecocks as they took an early 16-8 lead midway through the first quarter. South Carolina would go on to score the next 9, but it was Alabama who would go into the second half with a 41-40 lead. The Gamecocks came out fast in the third, scoring 15 of their first 20 points and took the first double-digit lead of the game. Dawn Staley's squad maintained a solid lead all the way through the fourth, getting most of their points from the free throw line, as the team went 19 for 23 from the line. Zia Cook led the Gamecocks with 21 points, and Aaliyah Boston came up big on the other end with 13 rebounds and 3 blocks. South Carolina will now head to Auburn to face a struggling Tiger squad on Thursday.
The South Carolina men's basketball team dropped a road game this past Saturday, losing to the Vanderbilt Commodores 93-81. Vanderbilt had career nights from multiple players as Maxwell Evans hit 5 three-pointers to finish the game with 29 points. Scottie Pippen Jr. finished the night with 23 points and 7 assists. As you can suspect, the game was Vandy all night as Vanderbilt used a 20-2 run in a span of under 4 minutes to take the lead for good, after making it 23-8 early in the first half. This was the first time this season that 2 Vanderbilt players had at least 20 points in a game, and they were also helped by sophomore Dylan Dessou getting a career-high 5 steals. A.J. Lawson was once again the highlight for the Gamecocks as he had 21 points and had his 7th game making 3 or more three-pointers. Keyshawn Bryant also added 13 points in the loss. The Gamecocks will be back on the road this week as they take on the 22nd-ranked Florida Gators this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on SEC Network.
Former Panthers great Greg Olsen announces his retirement from the National Football League last week. Olsen, who was originally drafted by the Chicago Bears but traded after 4 seasons, played 9 seasons with the Panthers, accumulating 524 catches for 6,463 yards and 39 touchdowns. During those 9 seasons, he made 3 consecutive Pro Bowls while recording 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, becoming the first tight end to do that in league history. The Panthers released Olsen in 2019, and he played his last professional season in Seattle with the Seahawks, where he had a quiet year with 24 receptions, 239 yards, and just 1 touchdown, all ranking second lowest in his career in season totals. As many former players do, Olsen now plans to go from the field to the booth and become a full-time analyst for the Fox network.
2 college football standouts boosted their draft stock this past weekend with strong performances in Senior Bowl practices and in Saturday's game. Clemson's Amari Rogers and South Carolina's Shi Smith both impressed NFL scouts with highlight reel catches in this week's practices and putting up good numbers in the Senior Bowl. The former South Carolina standout had 3 catches for 57 yards in Mobile, Alabama this past weekend. He was the favorite target for American teammate and former SEC rival Texas A&M quarterback Kalen Mond, whose 32-yard connection with Shi Smith was the game's longest play from scrimmage. Clemson's Amari Rogers caught the first touchdown of the game in between 2 defenders, which was also from Mond. Rogers finished the game with the most receptions for the American team with 4 and finished with 23 yards and a touchdown. Smith and Rogers now set their sights on the 21 NFL draft set for April 29th in Cleveland.
The 2021 college football schedule has been released. For some fans, this meant nothing but cheers. For others, nothing but tears. For fans here in Columbia, it meant feelings of anticipation, optimism, and caution. Beamer and his new staff will open up their season on September 4th against Eastern Illinois, followed by Eastern Carolina on September 11th. Fans of the team are hoping the Gamecocks can take advantage of these first 2 games because the next week begins a gauntlet of an 8-game SEC schedule. South Carolina gets no grace period with this schedule either, opening up league play against Georgia, the winners of the East for 3 of the past 4 seasons, and a consistent top 10 team. The Gamecocks then get a 4-game stretch where they play Kentucky, Troy, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. With Tennessee and Vanderbilt both losing their head coaches and Kentucky losing their senior starting QB, these games will tell Beamer, his staff, his team, and the fans a lot about where this program is heading. Games against Texas A&M and Florida, two teams also losing their star QBs, Missouri and Auburn, who just replaced their head coaches as well, round out the SEC schedule. Exciting news for fans of both South Carolina and Clemson. The Palmetto Bowl is back. After being canceled last year due to conference-only schedules, Clemson, who are also losing their star QB, oddly enough, will once again visit Williams-Brice Stadium on November 27th and renew one of the best, most intense rivalries in the country.
Now to the NHL, the Carolina Hurricanes' Nino Niederreiter came up clutch late as he scored the game-tying goal to send the Canes to overtime and a shootout after trailing the Dallas Stars late in the third period. The Canes ended up finishing the Stars off in the shootout 4-3 last night to defeat Dallas for the second time in 2 nights. Jordan Staal and Brock McGinn also scored for the Canes as they held a 2-1 lead going into the third. James Oleksiak and Andrew Cogliano and Jamie Benn all scored for Dallas as they pushed to sabotage Carolina's early lead after they scored 2 minutes into the game. Dougie Hamilton and Vincent Trocheck both scored in the shootout to win it for Carolina. The Hurricanes returned Thursday from a pause due to COVID-19 concerns and have now won all 3 games since. The Hurricanes sit at third in the Central Division and will head to Chicago to take on the Blackhawks tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Believe it or not, college baseball is back, and South Carolina is rich with games. Clemson, South Carolina, Coastal Carolina, and Charleston Southern will all be back on the diamond later this month, 3 fighting for a trip to Omaha, and the other 2 with eyes set on the championships for their own respective leagues. Neither of the state schools will have it easy. The Gamecocks have one of the toughest roads. Coming into the year ranked 18th, 7 of their 10 SEC series are against top 25 opponents, with first-ranked Florida, 4th-ranked Ole Miss, and 6th-ranked Vanderbilt headlining the schedule. A weekend series with unranked Georgia, after taking on the Gators, should not be taken lightly either. The Bulldogs have been national contenders for the past 4 seasons and were off to a 14-4 record before last season was stopped. Now, Tiger fans may argue that they have just as difficult a schedule, if not harder, than the Gamecocks. Out of their 12 ACC series, 8 are against top 25 ranked teams, one being a 3-game series against Carolina, split between Columbia, Clemson, and Greenville. The Tigers also play the Georgia Bulldogs in a home-and-home series. Series against the 5th-ranked Virginia, 7th-ranked Louisville, 9th-ranked Florida State, and 11th-ranked Miami will be key for Clemson to prove the strength of their program and cement themselves as championship contenders. Coastal Carolina is looking to make another Cinderella run and make it back to Omaha for the first time since their 2016 national championship run. Though the Chanticleers don't play in a Power 5 conference, strong showings against teams such as 16th-ranked Duke and 17th-ranked NC State could give the Chants the confidence and resume they need to compete for another ring.
That's all the sports news we have from this past week across South Carolina. For Braden, Maloy, I'm Klos. Until next Monday, this has been Palmetto State Sports.